All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Harakakarash. Double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and citation to elect which ought to be. The brother Kawagi. And when it comes down to it, saying for the times that we're approaching this stuff, hey, we got to be in a mindset and stuff to see if we're going to actually be able to do this. You see, right? Because you don't know until it's there. Right now and stuff, it's easy. It's like, yeah, I'm going to endure to the end. I'm going to endure to the end and stuff, right? But the Lord's going to try us, He's going to push us to the limit and whatnot. And it's going to be certain situations where it feel like it ain't going to be no way out. And you're going to be wondering and stuff what's going to be of you, right? So right now and stuff, you need to prepare your mind for the worst, you see? And my saying is expect the worst, hope for the best. But it can go either way, right? You see? But the worst is finna come. And then the best is going to be being able to endure those things, right? So this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes in Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 1. This is my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, prepare thy soul for temptation. Because even in the midst right now and stuff, we're going through temptation, you see, right? We're going through temptation. And the thing is that it's going to get harder. Satan is going to increase. He walks about as a roaring lion seeking who he may devour. And as it says in Job, the first chapter, that he goes to and fro in the earth. So he's seeking who's weak. He's going to come when you're weak and whatnot and stuff. And he's going to try you. You see, right? He might try you to your family, try you through your neighbors, try you through your friends, co-workers, associates. Or even regular people and stuff that you might see. Right? So the thing is that we got to prepare our minds. Right? Because even when it comes down to being in concentration camps and whatnot, they afflict you and stuff so your mind can break. You see? Whole point of MK Ultra. You see? Right? So prepare yourself because some of us, will be beheaded. Or even worse, as it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. You see? So this is this Sirach 2, verse 2. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. So set thy heart aright. Be focused, have that tunnel vision. That no matter what happens and stuff, you won't veer off too far and stuff when you'll die. You see, you won't peel over into that water. You won't peel over into that fire. You see, which causes destruction. That you continue on that narrow path and whatnot. And when you stay on that narrow path and stuff, you make sure you get to the end. No matter what obstacle or stumbling block that's there, you get yourself back up and you go for past that. That's why the Lord said that we're more than conquerors. Because guess what? It's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming our way. You see? And then what's the main thing? You got doubt. Doubt is always going to be there. Doubt brings forth falling into the temptation. You see, right? It's just in constantly endure. You see, meaning consistency. Consistently, constantly endure over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. And the thing is that it ain't gonna be easy. You see, the brother Shayar, like the brother Shayar from GMS Judgment is here. He was pretty much going into the fact that brothers have you noticed that when it comes down to it, it's harder to fast. There's like a whole bunch of distractions. You see, right? It's like a whole bunch of distractions and whatnot and stuff, and you're trying to fight through that. The main focus. And even like say if you study and you studying and stuff right now, don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. When it comes down to brothers doing sit downs and they pop up in your notifications, ain't nothing wrong with that. But say if you studying stuff, it'd be like, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that, to break your concentration and stuff, you see, right? That's why the scripture says, that's why it says, and constantly endure and whatnot and stuff, because it's going to be a bunch of distractions. It's just, and make not haste in time of trouble. So when troubles of times come and stuff, don't lean to thy own understanding, like it says in Proverbs 3 and 5, right? But trust in the Lord, you see, right? Be like the brother Yawana, he told me some years ago, maybe 2 years ago, he was like, the problem with you is that you worry about shit and stuff that's out of your hands, you see? And that's what will happen. What will happen is that you will seek to lean to your own understanding and stuff while you're in the midst of that trouble, you see? You'll be impulsive, you know what I'm saying? You'll be quick to act and to think later, you see? But even when you quickly act on certain things and stuff, guess what? You got to still have you still got to discern correctly. You see, not just move and just make a move and stuff, and then worry about the consequences later. You know what I'm saying? You know, because as it says in Sirach, grab it, in Sirach 18:27, and it says, it says a wise man will fear in everything and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? So even being impulsive, you know what I'm saying? You want to fear that and stuff and get yourself into the pattern and stuff that when you are in quick trouble like that, like the scripture says, be not afraid of sudden fear. When you're in quick trouble like that and stuff, guess what? You can still think correctly and directly. You know what I'm saying? You see? Right? So I'm going to go back. Sirach 2, Sirach 2:3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right? So the Lord knows our steps. You see, He knows the end. He knows when our end of our course come. You see, and the main thing that we want to be increased and stuff is our faith. You see, because without faith, it's impossible to please the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we want to be pleasing unto the Lord and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That He gives us the necessary increases and stuff so we can endure to the end. You see, no matter what is thrown at us. You see, because hey, we got demons and stuff that know us. You see, you know, and they hop on these different people and whatnot and stuff to mess with us, agitate us. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? As as let me grab it. Let me see. I think it's Luke. It's like it. Bear with me. All right. So this is Luke chapter 22, verse 31. It says, "And the Lord Yahushua said, Simon, Simon, meaning Peter, behold, Satan have desired to have you. It says that he may sift you as wheat." And when you go into that word sift and stuff, it means inward agitation. You see, right? So when it comes down to these demons that know us and whatnot, guess what? They're gonna go after our desires. They're gonna go after our irritations and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, our insecurities, so on and so forth and whatnot, things that pertain to us and our spirit. You know what I'm saying? You know, to mess with that and stuff just to throw us off track. You see? So I'm going to go back. It said, well, verse 32. It says, but I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not. And that's the increase that we want in our last end. You see? So when Jacob's trouble and stuff is at its highest peak and stuff, guess what? It's going to be very, very scary out here. You see? Because even though we know the scriptures and stuff and we've been through like certain processes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, sudden death is going to be on every left, every right and stuff. That's why it says in Isaiah 33:6, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength and salvation. You see? And why is that and stuff? It's because, you know what I'm saying, this is what's going to keep us stable. That's why you want wisdom to always meet thee in every thought. You know what I'm saying? Because if wisdom is not meeting you in every thought and stuff, guess what? You're not going to have the faith. You see? You're not going to endure. You'll be ready to buckle and give up. You see? Right? You know, and that's the one thing that you don't want to be. You don't want to be weak in the day in the midst of adversity. You know what I'm saying? With prosperity is forgotten. You see? So I'm gonna get this. Go back to Sirach 2:3. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at that last end. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take it cheerfully. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have false accusations. You see? We're going to go through the same path as Yahushua. If you hope to be of the body of Yahushua, then guess what? You're going to go through the same things. That's why it says in 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, it says, arm yourselves likewise. Why is and stuff? Because guess what? When he came down to Yahushua and stuff, he knew he had to die. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to recognize when it came down to the scriptures that he was the child of prophecy. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? Now, when it comes down to certain of us, we know that people hate us and whatnot and stuff, that they want to kill us, they want to take us out, they want to see us as bums. You know what I'm saying? They want something to laugh at and stuff so they can feel good. As it says in Baruch, the 4th chapter, misery loves company. You see? Right? So, uh, 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 the thing is that we got to prepare our minds where it's like we don't give a fuck about that shit. You see, right? That we're gonna continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? No matter, right? And was a clear example. When it came down to Job, he said, even though he slayed me, yet would I maintain my trust in him. You see, right? But we already know and stuff, the reason why we die and stuff is because of the sins that we have committed. You know what I'm saying? But just because you die in the truth doesn't mean that you're not part of the elect. You see? Right? Because what are your end works? Your end works and stuff is that you was found faithful. So when the Lord came when the Lord came, when it came down to that visitation and stuff, you know what I'm saying, he saw you doing righteous things and stuff where he saw his image within you. You see? Right? Because when it comes down to gold and silver and stuff, if you polish it real good and whatnot, guess what? You place it in front of your face, you can see your face in it. But when it comes down to wood and stubble and stuff, you can't. And that's wood and stubble. It's not what you want to be. That's the categories of the 2/3. You see, right? Because only the Israelites and stuff are going to make it. Israelites look like everybody though, because Israelites had sex with heathen women, and you are what your father is because you bust a nut in her. You see, or you have sex with her, or you ejaculated her. You see, so your outward appearance could be whatever. But the thing is that your spirit is going to bear witness if you're an Israelite or not. And one of the main things of knowing if you're an Israelite or not and stuff, you know what I'm saying, is besides the spirit, is being able to understand these scriptures. You see, you know, this is the ultimate salt that's needed, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to make it, or even to be able to endure. You see, all right. So this Sirach chapter 2 verse 4 again. It says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully." You know what I'm saying? You know, people are going to find anything that they can and stuff to try to mess you up. You see, they're going to look for things that you have probably done in the past. You know what I'm saying? You know, scriptures talk about that some men's sins follow them everywhere they go. You know what I'm saying? You know, so if you had did something, you know what I'm saying, guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to sit up there and use that, you know what I'm saying, so they can cause the masses and stuff to turn away. Because when it comes down to the agents, you know what I'm saying, or the Jewish or the fake Jews, you know what I'm saying, you know, they whole thing is that they don't want Israel to come back to their laws, statutes, commandments and stuff, because that's part of prophecy of their kingdom being taken down. You see, right? So they're gonna call you extremists. They're gonna call you terrorists. You know what I'm saying? If you bring out certain cringes when it comes down to the scriptures, when it comes down to certain cringes, when it comes down to the scriptures, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna sit up here and label you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're trying to explain that the Lord already had made a law on. You see, and I'm referring to Deuteronomy 22nd chapter. You know what I'm saying? When you read that, they call it, people want to call you a rapist. You know what I'm saying? You see, but the thing is that you haven't done any of those things at all. You see, right? So it says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And when you change to a lower state and stuff, don't sit up here and be like, oh man, I must be doing something wrong when it come down to the Lord and stuff. Look at Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? They call him a Beelzebub, a wine bibber. You see? Beelzebub is another word for a demon or a devil. You see? All he did was come to save men's lives and not destroy them. You see? And we're doing the same thing and stuff, but guess what? We get ridiculed. You know what I'm saying? We're considered the scum of the earth, as it says in First Corinthians, the 4th chapter. You see? Right? And it says, verse 5, it says, for gold is tried in the fire, right? It said, and then when it comes down to gold, the process of that, when you want to get it in its purest form at its highest value, right? Uh, 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 you purge it through the fire and whatnot, and what comes up, you know what I'm saying? It's a different ores and whatnot. It's called dross, and when that dross comes up, those are the impurities and whatnot. You see, so when we go through these different things and stuff, the Lord is purifying us. You know what I'm saying, from our iniquities. You see, you know, where we get more and more better and stuff of being like Yahweh Shai, because that's what you want to push for. You want to push for where when it comes down to Yahweh Shai, when it comes down to Yahweh Shai and stuff, that when it comes down to Yahweh Shai, that uh, uh, that you try to be as perfect as he was. Now, we already know he had a whole measure of faith, and we have a measure of faith, but guess what? Faith can increase. You see? You know, the parable when it comes down to the mustard seed and stuff, the mustard seed real small, you know what I'm saying? But it grows into a big tree. You see? Most mustard seeds and stuff, guess what? They grow above evergreen trees. You know what I'm saying? You know, and especially a lot of oak trees and willow trees. You see? It's a grand tree. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? It almost looked like well, back in the ancient times and stuff, you know, well, not the ancient times, but in the ancient days and stuff, with things had a larger yield. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes down to the vegetation, trees had like many, many rings and whatnot and stuff, and they was wide. You know what I'm saying? With them big ass, long ass saws and stuff, you know what I'm saying, the 2-man saws and stuff, you know what I'm saying, to take down the big trees. You know what I'm saying? That's how a mustard tree and stuff is very, very grand. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Your faith can be like that too. You see? Right? But it gotta be tried in the fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna have to go in and out, in and out, in and out. You know what I'm saying? Right? It says acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, right? So I want to grab this. Uh, Bear with me. All right, so this is Luke. I'm gonna read up though. This is Luke, chapter 14. This is Luke, uh, uh, Luke 14:23. It says, "And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and the hedges, meaning outside. And it says, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. It said, For I say unto you that none those men which were bitten." So like I'm gonna skip down. So this is well, no, I'm keep reading. Right? So compel them to come in and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That word compel goes into threat. You know what I'm saying? To necessitate. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying, if you don't come in and if you don't come into this marriage, you know what I'm saying, if you don't get yourself right and prepare yourself and whatnot so you can have the right qualifications and stuff to enter into the marriage and stuff, guess what? You're gonna die. You're gonna get left. You see? You know, right? And it says, verse 24, it says, For I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. It says, And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, it says, If any man come to me, it says, and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And that hate means to love less. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yashad need to be your first priority. You see, instead of looking at your woman and having your nose in her ass, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to sit up here and think about the Lord. You see, meditate on his ways. You see, to make sure and be in constant examination and whatnot. You see, right? Scrutinizing yourself, right? And it says, verse uh, uh, 27. It says, And whosoever doeth not bear his cross, right? The different afflictions that you go through. It says, and come. It says, and come after me cannot be my disciple. Disciple goes into discipline. You see, and the brother was making the brother Matati and stuff. He was making a point in one of the live streams. He was saying that in GMS Des Moines too. He was saying that when it come down to certain dainties and stuff that you used to, you find yourself just really into the scriptures and whatnot, not just for your comfort. You know what I'm saying, but to build up and whatnot and stuff, right? So you can be apt to teach. You know what I'm saying. The right to study if the answer. You see, right? And the thing is that you know, you get your money, you got a certain type of job, you get your money, you know what I'm saying, and you get your money, you get your money and whatnot and stuff, but you see, your money is in bags of holes, like it says in Haggai 1:6. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's like you put your money into bags of holes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just got the check and stuff, and it goes all to the bills, and now you got nothing. Well, that's preparation, or that's discipline. You know what I'm saying? Disciplining yourself and whatnot and stuff. So when it gets horrible out here and the entertainment is lost, you know what I'm saying? Unless you want to bow the knee and stuff, just so you can maintain that entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But for those who don't want to bow that knee and stuff, you already used to it. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? It's not going to bother you like it's going to bother the rest of these people. You see? And that's the spirit that you want. You want tough skin. You see? You know? You want to have the whole armor, as it says in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, verse 10 through 18. And 18, when it goes into prayer, it's pretty much the maintenance to keep that armor strong. You see? Or to reinforce it. You see? Right? Right? And it says, It says, verse 28, it says, "For which of you intended to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it." You know what I'm saying? So when you come into this truth, you know what I'm saying, you hear the sweetness and whatnot and stuff, right? That you're an Israelite, you know, that we the Lord's chosen people. You know what I'm saying? That you can receive spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? That you can be the possible elect and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you go for it, you seek for it. You know what I'm saying? That um that we're gonna rule the world and stuff. We're no longer be in captivity and stuff, right? But then the bitter of it, you know what I'm saying? The bitter of it and stuff is that we're gonna have to endure. You're gonna have to suffer betrayal. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to suffer being set up. You know what I'm saying? And then on the road to salvation and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's a straight gate. And that straight is STRAIT. You know what I'm saying? Meaning position of difficulty. And as it says in Acts 14 and 22, through much tribulation shall we enter to the kingdom of heaven. And that's the bitter and whatnot and stuff, right? But the thing is that we need to, most of us don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like just get into it afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because most of us and stuff, we heard about the truth and whatnot, and we heard the sweetness of it and stuff, and we got in on that. And we was like real earnest and thirsty and stuff to warn our people and whatnot and stuff, because we recognize that the Bible was a good thing and stuff, and we can recognize in our spirit, you know what I'm saying, that it collides with our souls. You know what I'm saying, and that we got next and stuff, and we're gonna rule forever, world without end, you see, right? Right? And we didn't really, like, I'm gonna say for myself and stuff, I didn't really think of it like that and stuff. All I wanted to was I was following the scriptures. I was on the other side of the line and stuff, and I was writing down my notes. Brothers was calling me the scribe and stuff, called the notes I was making. You know what I'm saying? The brother Arala, right? And then and it was like, I just want to teach. I want to be able to teach. I want to be able to teach. You know what I'm saying? Then you learn over time. I don't really know any individuals and stuff where it's like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to do this and stuff. You see, most of the time when the individuals be like that, it's because they still low key kind of in the world and whatnot, or they a family man and stuff. You see, right? And being a family man and stuff is one of the ultimate distractions. And plus your woman and stuff, because your woman is for the world. You see, and Jake don't want to lose their woman. You see, so they try to cope with her. You see, that's when that Jeremiah 2 and 33 comes. Why trimmest thy ways to seek love? You had taught others thy wickedness. You see, right? So you learn it over time and stuff, right? And when it come down to it and stuff, once you in the midst and you see how serious it is and stuff, you know what I'm saying, right? That your life can be on the line. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna count the cost? Are you gonna sit up here and be like, yeah, I'm still gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in a situation where you be like, nah, I can't do this, and you're going to leave. You already touched your hands to the plow, you see? And the Lord said that you're not fit for the kingdom. So guess what? Even more trouble, you know what I'm saying, than the trouble that you will go through and stuff just to obtain the crown, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be worse for you. Because as it says in Luke, since I'm here, this is Luke 12 and 47. This is Luke 12 and 46. But if, well, verse 44, it says, of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. It says, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and the maid servants, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken, it says, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him. You see, right? So if you drop the plow and whatnot and stuff, guess what? You're going to be bread and circus, party and bullshit. You're going to be eating and drinking and giving into marriage. You know what I'm saying? Not paying attention and stuff to prophecy. You're not going to keep yourself up to date. You see? Right? Right? So when the Lord comes through, you know what I'm saying? He cracked them clouds or things get bad and whatnot and stuff. You see? And you more on a worldly turn and stuff and not getting into the scriptures. What's going to happen is that you're going to be lost. You see? You're going to be lost. You know, and then when the Lord come through, read it again, verse 46, it says, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, in that visitation. It says, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portions with the unbelievers. You see, verse 47, it says, and the servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself. See, we got to prepare ourselves. You see, you know, It says, neither did according to his will shall be beaten with many stripes. So as soon as you put your hand to the plow and whatnot and stuff, and you leave completely. Now there's going to be times, as it says in Proverbs 24:16, the just man falleth 7 times, but get back up again. Now that 7 times is a complete number. The Lord knows how many times you're going to give up. I mean, not give up, Salaki. The Lord, Salaki, a man, you slip in speech, but not in heart, meaning that you meant to say something else, but it didn't come out. So not give up, but it's gonna be times when you're gonna fall, when you're gonna falter, when you're gonna fuck up. You know what I'm saying? When yes, you do actually waver and whatnot and stuff. You see, but the thing is that you don't stay in that state. You see, you know, you don't just give up completely and stuff. You continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? You could continue to fight the good fight of faith. You see, right? So it says. Uh, uh, right? So it says, and it says, verse 47 again, it says, and that servant which knew his Lord's will, it says, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will shall be beaten with many stripes and stuff. When we don't want that to happen to us, you see, we don't want the Lord killing us. You know what I'm saying? And even if he do slay us, I gotta say the Job again. Uh, Even though he slay me, yet would I keep my integrity in him. You see, right? And integrity goes into innocence. You see, and how you say innocent by showing love to the Lord, by keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, mingle with faith. You see, repenting every day and not cherry picking what you want to repent on. You see, right, right, right. When the Lord comes back and stuff, we want him to be verse 43. Blessed is that servant who is Lord when he comes shall find so doing and stuff. Since that's talking about doing the work when it come down to the visitation and stuff. Because then we have a propitiation and stuff. We appease his wrath. You see, right? Right. So I'm gonna go back to the Sirach 2:5. Right. It says, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace diversity. And we want to be those acceptable men. Right. Now, this is Sirach 27, verse 5. Right. Because this is the testing. You know what I'm saying? Right. This is Sirach 27:5. It says, the furnace proveth a potter's vessel, so that the trial of man is in his reasoning. You know what I'm saying? So our reasoning is what's getting tried. See? Our reason is what's getting tried. Verse 6. It says, the fruit declareth it, the tree have been, if the tree have been dressed. You know what I'm saying? The fruit, our works. You see? What we do. You know what I'm saying? How we live, how we maintain the stuff in Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You see? How we keep steady and stuff in the truth and staying steadfast. You see? Right? Right? And we want to be those good trees and whatnot and stuff. You see? Right? And it says, so is the utterance of and a conceit in the heart of man. Right, so going back, this Sirach chapter 2, verse 6. It says actually, let me grab this because I know I quoted it and stuff, but let me get it. This Acts 14:22, and it says confirming the souls. It says confirming the souls of the disciples. It says confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. It says that we must through much tribulation, meaning trouble, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. You see? Lock it. So like I'll read again. It's confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So much tribulation, much trouble and stuff. You see, you got to worry about betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah 59:15, one of my favorite scriptures. It says, "True faitheth, and he that depart away from evil make his soul a prey." You see, so we're gonna be preyed upon and stuff because you're gonna have two different spirits. You see, this is Sirach 33:14. And it says, good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. You see, right? So the thing is that when you come into this word and whatnot and stuff, guess what? Satan gets a notification, oh, we got a new converter. You see, we got a new believer and whatnot and stuff. Let's try them. Now, the Lord is not going to send Satan himself on you. You know what I'm saying? You got to work that way up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a certain level of demons. Like look at it as a video game. Look at it as a video game and stuff, you see? Uh, uh, Look at it as a video game, level one. You know what I'm saying? You learn the basics and whatnot and stuff, and you get level one demons on you. And then when you go up to the next level and stuff, and as you continue to prove and stuff, you're gonna get heavier and heavier demons and stuff that's gonna try you in different ways. You see? You know, right? So actually, uh, this Sirach 13. But what did the Lord say? He said that I send you as sheep in the midst of wolves. You know what I'm saying, right? And a lot of our people and stuff, they want us devoured. They want to kill us. They want to take us down. They want us to quit so they can feel better about themselves, you see? Because not a lot of people can do this. You see, the scriptures talk about how many prophets, many noblemen, you know what I'm saying, right? Many small hats, they expect, they wish to see the things that we see, but they can't. And what cause and what happens is that they become jealous of that, you see, right? Because you got a lot of people out here and stuff where they want to shine, but the only way they shine and stuff is stepping out somebody else's light. You know what I'm saying? Which is pathetic as fuck. You see? But that's a lot of people and stuff, right? So I'm gonna get this. It's a Rock 13. Them spirits can't align and stuff. They can't be on the same accord. You know what I'm saying? So when that friction starts and stuff, guess what? You're gonna find yourself having a battle. You see, and this is the condition of the battle. You know what I'm saying? And what are we doing? We fighting against this is a spiritual warfare, you see? Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your soul and what the Lord knows you can take. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual warfare and stuff can go into a carnal warfare. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers will try you. People will try you. You see? Right? Right? Look at King Saul. If King David would have stayed around and stuff, guess what? King Saul probably would have tried David. They probably would have went blow for blow. You see? You know? Right? So this is Sirach, chapter 13. And 14, it says, love the Lord all thy life and call upon him for thy salvation. It says, every beast loveth its like, and every man loveth his neighbor. You see? Meaning that, what they into. You see? Too low. Right? Right? So if you're down for the world will love its own. But if you're down for the truth and stuff, those who's on the same accord and stuff gonna love you too. You see? Not even in the truth and stuff, brothers can rub each other the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It can be misunderstandings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures already give you the breakdown and stuff, how to squash things like that. You see? Right? To squash things like that and stuff. But when it comes down to people that's of the world, you know what I'm saying? They don't have that discipline. So therefore, their main reaction and stuff is to get carnal with you. You know what I'm saying? Or to do harm and stuff instead of seek peace. Now, the peace that they look for is the peace when it comes down to themselves, but it's only one-sided. It's not both sides and stuff. I mean, it's not peace and stuff that can bring to both sides and stuff. It's just that one fall and one rise. You see, and that's usually by injurious works. You see, right? So when we in this truth and whatnot and stuff, there's no fellowship. You see. So it says, verse 16. It says, all flesh consorteth according to kind. It says, and a man will cleave to his like. It says, what fellowship have the wolf with the lamb? You see, because you got a predator and then you got the prey, and it says so the sinner with the godly. What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? It says, and what peace between the rich and the poor? It says, as the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so is the rich. So the rich eat up the poor. And the rich stuff of this world and stuff is Esau Edom, which has a perpetual hatred against us. You see? So guess what? Part of the preparation is also being able how to deal with spirits and stuff and be able to recognize, what I'm saying, when somebody's spirit is off. You see? When something is wrong. And usually it gets shown in the face and whatnot, but even when it's a clear face and stuff, you got to see that something is off. Like when it came down to Lion King, right? This is when Scar Scar, he he had he was trying to set up Simba and Mufasa and stuff so he could become king. You see, and you know, with Mufasa and stuff being the king of the jungle, you know what I'm saying, or the king of all the animals and stuff, as you saw how the intro was. Every animal bowed down to Mufasa and also Simba and stuff because he was the prince, the king to be, the heir, right? And what happened? Uh, 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 he knew his subjects. He knew his he knew the animals and stuff in his providence. And Zazu, his intendant, he was like, "Oh look, sire." He was like, "Oh look, sire, the herd is on the move." And then when Mufasa looked over, he was like, "That's odd." You know what I'm saying? Something wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? You know, the spirit is off. You see? And we got to be able to have that too. We need perception. Perception is a must to have. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we could be able to see, so we can get out that jam. You see? You know, when you know that somebody's sitting up there smiling in your face, but they itching to get you whacked, you know? Or somebody sitting up here talking about check it out and they trying to bring you into a solitary place and they know that the sight of blood and stuff is nothing to them. You see? Right? You got to be able to peep that out. You see? You know? Right? And the Lord is always going to show some sort of opening and stuff, you know what I'm saying, where it's going to catch your eye. You know, even when it comes down to the spirit, like say if you see it in the animes, you know, in certain movies, when somebody increase their bloodthirst and stuff, people that's used to warrior spirit and have that warrior sense, you know what I'm saying, you know, they can peep it out and stuff, you see, right? Uh, 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 I don't know if you know. Not many people know about it and stuff, but when it come down to Naruto, right? And I'm talking about just the regular Naruto, not Shippuden. And pretty much what happened was instead you had the Hyuga clan, you see, and that's Deuteronomy 28:54 all day, you see, and pretty much what happened was that pretty much what happened was that uh, 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 you know, they had a thing and stuff where one who's Keka Genkai or their special ability and stuff was stronger than the other and stuff. One would be placed in the high branch and one would be placed in the lower branch. And the lower branch would serve the higher branch. So they had servants within their own family and stuff. They had servants within their own family structure, you see? Like, right? And uh, pretty much Neji, you know what I'm saying, he was of the younger branch and whatnot and stuff, but his Keka Genkai was that of the higher branch and whatnot and stuff, you see, right? Pretty much plain example of don't judge a book by its cover, you see, because even though his father was the lesser branch, meaning his child too, the thing is that his father recognized that his Kega Genkai was strong, you know what I'm saying, you know, and that he should have been a higher branch family and stuff. But since his father was lesser, you know what I'm saying, that's why he was positioned that way. And he got mad and angry and whatnot and stuff. And then his older brother peeped it out and stuff. And they had something that's called the curse mark that was over their foreheads, where if they tried to rebel against one another and stuff, they could do their little, they could use their little chakra symbol sign and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They do the little, you know, the little symbol like this and whatnot, go like this, and then next thing you know, it will restrain them. You see, you know, right? Right? It'd be a chain where they can't move. It immobilized them. You see, it immobilized them. You see, uh, yep, yep, that's right. It immobilized them and stuff. You see, and uh, it's the same way, the Wadi Yahbashim Yashai. It's the same way when it comes down to those who follow after Yahbashim Yashai to the best of their ability, mingle with faith, and follow after his ways versus those who don't. You see? You know? So you're going to have contention. You see? You know? Right? So I'm going to get this. You got to be able to peep that, perceive it. You see? You know? Right? Every time Yahushua perceived that the wicked Pharisees, Sadducees, priests, and lawyers and scribes was on some bullshit with him, so what did he do? He got out that jam. He wasn't sitting there being aloof. And being aloof is a great no-no, you see? You know? Because when you're aloof and stuff, you unaware, you see? And if you're unaware and whatnot, then guess what? You can get got, you see? You know? And part of and aloof, if you aloof, if you're aloof, you know what I'm saying, you can make a mistake. You see, right? So this second Ezra chapter 14 and 13. And it says, now therefore set thy house in order. It says, and reprove thy people. Now set thy house in order and stuff. First of all, you know what I'm saying, the first house and stuff is your body. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself together, get your soul together. You know what I'm saying? Right? Put on as the elect, as it says in Colossians, the 3rd chapter. You see? And and on your also your house for a man and stuff would be uh, 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 um, your wife and your children. You see, right? Your wife and your children, right? That would be the house of a man. It's not actually talking about getting your crib. Your crib can be run down. It can be raggedy. It can be, real old and whatnot and stuff. But that's not the house it's referring to. It's talking about yourself. You see, and even those who follow underneath your footsteps. Because as it says in Proverbs 22:6, it says, "Train up a child in the way that should go, and they should not depart from it when they're old." You see, right? And read Deuteronomy 6 chapter and stuff, it clearly goes into how you will teach thy children, and they will teach their children's children, and their sons' sons and stuff, including the daughters as well. You know what I'm saying? To be obedient. You know what I'm saying? When they do get a husband, you see, right? So 2nd Ezra 14 and 13, it says, now therefore set thy house in order, and now the Lord had made us different blocks, hopefully of the house of David. You see, Yahweh shall be in the cornerstone, right? And our job and our purpose and stuff is to build up the breaches. You know what I'm saying? You see, right? You know, so the house of David and whatnot, the Lord had bestowed upon certain men. You know what I'm saying? Certain men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? To watch over. You know what I'm saying? To watch after even other souls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because let me see what it says. This Ezekiel. Uh, Shalaki. This Hebrews 13 and 17. It says, obey them that have the rule over you. You know what I'm saying? Who came before you. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's the brother Yeshaya. You know what I'm saying? His father is named Peoriah. You see? Both Judites. Even though Yeshaya looked like he could be Issachar. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is just that's just his hair. You see? Right? Right? And he was the head of Des Moines camp, you know what I'm saying, in Iowa, you know what I'm saying, and uh, over his father, you know what I'm saying, but it's not by age and stuff. It's by how the spirit works. You see, right? So it says, obey them that have rule over you. And some, but don't get it wrong and stuff. I know that the brother, you know what I'm saying, he legit, he know more than I do. That brother still respects his father, as it says in Exodus the 20th chapter. It says, honor thy father and honor thy mother. You see, but it says, obey them that have rule over you, those who are higher in spirit, you know what I'm saying, and plus the experience and stuff that came with it. It says to submit yourselves. Now, a lot of people that's of the world and whatnot and stuff, remember, they're going to size you up by materialistic things, just like how a woman size up a man being a real man by how much material possessions he possesses. You see, right? And that's not the right spirit to have, right? So you will find disrespect. If you smaller than somebody else and stuff, and they're and like say they got street smarts and stuff. Street smarts don't outweigh the spirit. You see, of the way of the Bible, right? So you could have disrespect there. You see, you also got something that's called familiarity and stuff. When you're familiar with somebody, you kind of overstep your bounds. You see, right? So it says, Hebrews 13 and 17, it says, obey them that have rule over you. It says, and submit yourselves. for they watch for your souls, always keep you up to date, you know what I'm saying, for the things that's happening. You know what I'm saying, you know, because what we're doing is that we're measuring the times diligently within itself and whatnot. And how we do that by the law. We do that by watching and watching and praying. You know what I'm saying, and also preparing you to be able to understand through the Spirit. You know what I'm saying, when Satan is trying to tempt you, because when you enter into other men's labors and stuff, they go through the stuff before you and stuff, and then they can give you a breakdown. So when you peep it out for yourself, it's like, it's just like how the brother was saying, you know, this, that, and third was going to happen and stuff, you see, you know, and now guess what? You can combat against it and stuff when it happens to you. You know what I'm saying? That's a watching over your soul. That's giving you warning, right? And it says, for they watch over your souls as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable to you. See, right? Right. So I'm going back to Second Edges 14:13. Right. So we have a spiritual house. You see, it could be men that's older than us. You know what I'm saying? You know, but then younger in the spirit because they just newly convert. You see, you probably converted for 4 years and stuff, and you got a 7-year-old that come in. You know what I'm saying? In just in a couple of weeks and whatnot. Now you will still respect them because the scripture says respect the hoary head, meaning gray hairs or white hairs. You know what I'm saying? Still give respect onto them. You see, but the thing is that you will be, since you had 4 years of experience and stuff and battling in the spirit and stuff, and have your spirit, your perception grown, having your perception grown and stuff. The thing is that having your perception grown. The thing is that you'll be higher than that man in the spirit. You see, right? So it says some of us got heavier portions. You see, right? And it says back in Second Esdras 14:13, it says, "Now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people." Reprove, correct them. You see, this is how we build up the breaches, because the elect is going to be of the house of David, the 144,000, and the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children. And the thing is that them coming back into the fold. You know what I'm saying, right? Them coming back into the fold and getting out of that Gentile state and whatnot and stuff. You see, those who's already of the fold and stuff, you know what I'm saying, we're watching over them. You see, right? That's why it's a ranking system and stuff when it come down to the camps. You see, right? So it says comfort such of them as be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You know, tell them the reason and stuff, why things are happening like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, to let them know and stuff, when this or that is happening to them and stuff, guess what? It's a demon. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you get sick and whatnot, or when you try this and try that and stuff, it's always seemed like something is on your ass and stuff, but you can't really put your finger on it. What is that? That's Satan. You see? You know? Right? Because you gotta, since there's a spiritual realm, you know what I'm saying? You know, look at the Avatar. You see? Different spirits and stuff can mess with those of the physical realm. You see? And it's the same way when it comes down to Satan and the angels. Now, the angels and stuff, you know what I'm saying, they're there for your protection and stuff, but Satan is the one who's there to try you. You see? You see? Right? You know? And it says, comfort such as them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. And what is that? Renounce corruption. Fall away from this world. You know what I'm saying? You know? Pretty much sell out to you. How about Shem Yahshua? You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what it says in Lion King. Timon told Simba. He said, "When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back onto the world." You see, right? Right, and that's renouncing corruption, because this world is ruled by the king of corruption, which is Esau Edom, the full-blooded spirited Caucasian. You see, whose face, what race of people and stuff is on the superscription. You see, and then for anybody out there and stuff that want to sit up here and call us like, for anybody out there that want to sit up here and call us racist and stuff, right? Now, that's a compound word. IST and stuff means to be for. You know what I'm saying? To be about. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Yahweh Shai said that he came, he came to save his people, that his is a personal pronoun, meaning something very direct and stuff, and not universal. You see? Right? So what is that save his people? That's talking about Israelites, because he's from the tribe of Judah. You see? The line of Judah. You see? Right? And it tells you that in Matthew's the first chapter, Yeah, Matthew, Matthew's the first shot of Salaki. You know what I'm saying? When it says the generations of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, you see, right? And uh, 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 Salaki, bear with me. Something going on with my ears. Uh, uh, all right. So when it comes down to being racist, it just means being for your people. So, you know, it don't have to necessarily mean that you're against some other type of race and stuff. It's just that you're down for yours. You see, right? You down for yours. And if we're building up the spiritual house and whatnot, hoping to be of this house of David and stuff, but we building up the breaches, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be for our people. We're going to be for our own, you see? Now, we understand that 2/3 of Israel and stuff are not going to come back, you know what I'm saying, and that they're going to be one of our ops or those who show opposition against us, and including hatred, you know what I'm saying, but the scripture says, why are they here for bear, you see? Because, hey, shoot, it can be an individual. You probably thought they was a 2/3, but then next thing you know, they still get the same pity. You see, even though you worked longer than them and stuff. You see, and which is something that you shouldn't get jealous of and whatnot and stuff. It's all about preaching this word, stolen, exalting Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying, and his doctrine and his will, proving that he exists and he's the only highest power that exists out there. You see, right, right. So this is 2nd Ezra 14:14. It says, let go from thee mortal thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what's going to happen. You see? How you going to hold up here? You see? The Lord's going to most definitely and stuff put it in our spirits. You know what I'm saying? Or bring great miracles. You see? Right? And it says, cast away the burdens of man. You know what I'm saying? Things things that's without your power, you see, that causes a person to panic or to become paranoid, you see. And it says, put off now the weak nature. And what is that weak nature? You know what I'm saying? The carnal man, the natural man, you know what I'm saying? Who can't perceive anything spirit, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual, you see. Whereas seeing is believing, but they don't see spiritually and stuff, you see, right? And it says, the old man, you know what I'm saying, of this world, you see, which makes you weak, which makes you lame, you see, right? And verse 15, it says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, don't things that's outside of your hands. It says, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. And you know what I'm saying? It's like we're in the green tree. You see? We're in the green tree. And we're still within the green tree and stuff, but guess what? Those leaves are rapidly removing from the branches and whatnot and stuff. So the dry tree and stuff is coming, and we seeing how the evil and stuff is increasing. We see within the news, you know what I'm saying, women are killing their babies. You know what I'm saying? It's death everywhere in all types of ways. It's like Final Destination and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But instead of a few people, it's whoever it is that get caught up out there. You see, right? Right? And it says, verse 17, it says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So those who sell the world and whatnot and stuff, guess what? They catching these spells that Esau Edom is placing upon them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're getting more and more worldly. You know what I'm saying? They're increasing in it. As it says in Jeremiah 5:28, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said that we the salt of the earth and stuff, right? But what do our people do? You know what I'm saying? Who despise his truth. They put salt upon the wickedness and stuff, and that's causing them to stay blind. And if you stay blind and stuff, then guess what? When something odd or something that's wrong, you know what I'm saying, is approaching you and stuff, they won't be able to see it and stuff, and they're gonna get caught up in that trap. You see, right? And that's why it's a blessing and stuff that the Lord had made it where we're not offended of his word. You see, right? Because then guess what? We can see, we can understand. If it's in a parable and stuff, we can get it. You see, right? We can catch on to things faster than those who don't have the Spirit with them or who don't have the Holy Spirit with them. You see, right? Right. So I'm going back to Sirach chapter 2, verse 6. And it says, believe in him. You see, right? And when it comes down to his belief, you got to believing in him is this, because he's the invisible power. You know what I'm saying? The wind is there. You feel it. You know, you breathe in and stuff. You feel it go across your nose and whatnot and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Uh, 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 if you're one of those individuals and stuff who got a private balcony and stuff, and you go out there and stuff, you feel the wind on your balls. You know what I'm saying, right? You know that it's there, but you can't see it and stuff. It's the same way with the Lord. We know that he's there because shit was already here in this numerous of different processes. You know what I'm saying? That shows that he exists. You see, this is Hebrews 11:1. And it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You see? Right? So I'm gonna get this. This is Romans. It's Romans 8:24. Romans 8:24, it says, for we are saved by hope. It says, but hope that is seen is not hope. You see, for what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for? Right? Now we can visualize the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? We can sit up here and be like, we can visualize the kingdom and stuff, you know what I'm saying, all the great dignities and stuff, because look, the scripture says where there's no vision, the people perish. You know what I'm saying, but when the vision is actually there and stuff, guess what? That gives us hope. You see? It says, verse 25, it says, but if we hope for that we see not, right, then do we with patience wait for it. You see? Right? And what's part of the other hope and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be able to endure? You see? If you do have to be in a situation where you get tortured and stuff, are you going to be able to suffer through that pain? You see, are you going to be able to suffer loss and connections? You see, friends and family and stuff. You see, right? You know, dealing with the elements. You see, because guess what? It's going to be a situation, as it says in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, you know what I'm saying, that we're going to be like pilgrims on the earth. You see, because when they make it, well, you can't live normally and stuff unless you got that, got the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, radio frequency identification, and NFC, which is near field communications, was used as RFID technology or Neuralink and stuff for those who's mentally impaired or their bodies are impaired and stuff. You see, to link up with robotics and stuff. When it comes down to different limbs, you know what I'm saying. Like if you're a paraplegic, the thing is that the thing is that you're gonna have that chip inside your brain and stuff in order for certain things to work when it comes down to the machinery. Like Eric, or I think his name is Eric. Yeah, Eric. You know what I'm saying? Almeric or something like that from Full Metal Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? He got an arm and a leg. You know what I'm saying? In where it's made out of metal. You know what I'm saying? But that's just cartoon. In real life, if your veins are connected to connected to wiring and whatnot and stuff, and it's all manual, it's just all machine, you know what I'm saying? No electricity, no robotics and whatnot and stuff. You're not moving shit. You know what I'm saying? Right? You're not moving anything. So what they do is that they're going to put a chip in your brain and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that correlates with those robotic limbs, you know what I'm saying, so you could be able to use your use the lens and stuff so you could get an artificial so-called normal life. You see? Right? Right? So we hope that we're gonna have faith and stuff to not deal with that. If we gotta go through MK Ultra, that we be able to deal with that and stuff. You see, as the scripture says in Sirach or Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha, I'm gonna grab that right quick so you can read it for yourself. Sirach 4 and 28. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. And we want the Lord to fight for us and stuff. You know what I'm saying? To keep that wisdom, you know what I'm saying, coming in our minds. You see? To keep that wisdom in our minds, to keep the dainties that we're gonna have in the kingdom and stuff as we continue and endure. As it says in Luke 21 and 19, it says, in your patience possess ye your souls. You see? Right? And we want to maintain our patience and stuff. We want our call and election to be sure. You see? Even though the odds look like that's not going to happen and stuff. We want to be in a situation where the Lord says what's impossible, man, is possible with Yahweh Shem Shai. We want the people to sit up here who doubted us, who looked down upon us, you know what I'm saying, who thought that we was doomed, that we was dead, you know what I'm saying, that they see the glory and stuff that we have with Yahweh Shai because we didn't give up, but they did. You see, right? Right? We're going to have this. This is verse 21. It says, "For there is a shame that bringeth sin," right? And all of us have suffered that shame, right? But when it comes down to those that repent, they're going to receive this. It says, "And there is a shame which is glory and grace." And a lot of people look at it, it's like, it's a goddamn shame. You wasting your fucking time. You know what I'm saying? You doing everything in vain and whatnot and stuff. But as we continue to have our belief in Yahweh Shem Shai and correct ourselves and prepare ourselves, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey, what everybody else thought when we was going against the odds, being that underdog and stuff, we win in the end. You see? Right? Right? So this back in Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, "Believe in him and he will help thee." It says, "Order thy way aright and trust in him." You see? Now, when we believe in the Lord and we keep his law, statutes, commandments, that maintains the order. You see? That's how we know we're going to be stable in these times. You know what I'm saying? You know? Because even you can see like 144 or 441 or 444, you see, or 888, which means glory. You know what I'm saying? 999 meaning foundation. You see, because there's spiritual numeric value. You know what I'm saying, when it comes down to the numbers. You see, and the thing is, you know, you see certain things. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see certain things and whatnot and stuff, and then what it does is uplifts you. You know what I'm saying? You know, or something that pop in your mind and stuff, it uplifts you. You see? Not too long ago, I think it was yesterday and stuff, and it was like early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? You know, maybe like 2 or 4 o'clock in the morning and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I was just feeling down, feeling bad and stuff. And then the spirit and stuff was just giving me scriptures to go to, you know what I'm saying? And everything was about building up the faith and leaning upon the Lord and stuff and making him your buckler and your shield and your sword, you see? Right? And uplifted me and whatnot and stuff. So it could be the same way, right? But we got to believe first. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. You know what I'm saying? But in order to diligently seek him, you got to believe first. You see? Right? And it says, believe in him and he will help thee. It says, order thy way aright and trust in him. Remember the Lord, as it says in Malachi 3 and 6, is that he's not a man that should lie. You see? Right? Verse 7. It says, "Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall." And when it comes down to a lot of the tests that we go through, you know what I'm saying, when we lean upon the Lord, when it seems like that he might be a little absent and stuff, or you think that he's not there, we got to be like the Canaanitish woman, which was an Israelite, to constantly continue to beg and stuff, you know what I'm saying, you know, to be able to receive his good graces. You see? You know? Sometimes to be a test, and so let's see how much you really want it. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? So it says, "Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall." Lest lest, but it means that not ye fall. You see, and that's something that we don't want to do. Right? It said, "Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail." And what's the reward we hoping? Salvation on the first go round, or even if we gotta die for it, that we don't punk out and chicken out stuff. You see, you know what I'm saying? You know that the only ring that we kiss is Yahweh Shai's, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai's, and not Esau Edom's. See, right? For what treacherous man he is. Verse 9, it says, "Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy." Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? You know what I'm saying? We're not confused. Everybody else is, but we're not. You see? And that's also what brings a lot of hatred and stuff, for the fact that they're confused and they want to know, but yet they can't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because the angels and stuff putting a veil on them and stuff where they can't see. You know what I'm saying? You know? And it's like this. It's like the spirit of Cain. No. It's like this. When it came down to Joseph, you know what I'm saying, of the 12 progenitors, you know what I'm saying, you know, yeah, Manasseh and Ephraim and stuff, his sons, you know what I'm saying, Joseph represent Ephraim, but his other son, Manasseh, was a whole other nation and stuff, which are the so-called Cubans today. You see, they was adopted in. Now, for anybody who want to sit up here, what about the Danites? The only thing we can say is that they mingled in with the other tribes. You know what I'm saying, you know, that the Lord considered them underneath the other tribes and stuff instead of their own tribe of Dan. You see, right? Right? And when it came down to Joseph and stuff, Joseph had got a coat. You know what I'm saying? And it really what it was Jacob being happy that he was still able to that his soldiers still marched, meaning that he could still get a woman pregnant in his old age. You know what I'm saying? That he wasn't shooting out blanks. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't shooting out dust. You know what I'm saying? His soldiers were still marching and stuff. So he pretty much made a coat of many colors and stuff and gave it to Joseph. But that was him trophying. That was him making Joseph a trophy. You know what I'm saying? For himself. You know what I'm saying? For the fact that he was still able to impregnate women, right? Right? And and his brethren, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? They was jealous. His, and his brethren, you know what I'm saying, was jealous. And not only that, he was also having dreams, you know what I'm saying, that happened to be visions that was going to hurt, not hurt, but work, you know what I'm saying, in the future, right? And pretty much what happened was that pretty much what happened was that but where he was going to be grander, you know what I'm saying, than his brother and stuff, which actually happened, you know what I'm saying. But guess what? They was getting jealous of that and stuff, and they was seeking to kill him. You see, and it's the same way and stuff for the rest of these people. Oh, ultimately, Esau eating the full blood and spirit of Caucasian, the heathens. You see, and the rest of the heathens, they upset and stuff that guess what? They're not going to be able to rule forever and stuff, but their time is coming where they're going to have to be underneath rulership, underneath Jake. You know what I'm saying? And one thing why they don't want to and stuff, because within their history and stuff, it shows great cruelty and monstrosity that he had done onto the nation of Israel. You see? And the Lord says in Revelations 18:6, it says, reward her double as she rewarded you. You see? And they don't want to go through that. You see? That's why by carnal means and stuff, they're going to do the best that they can to establish their new world order. But while he is eating and stuff, guess what? It's going to get taken out the way. You see? As it says in Job, the 20th chapter, right? So once again, this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and Yahweh Shem Yashai and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? We established the old paths. You know what I'm saying? You see, when you read the people that the Israelites that the Lord was with and whatnot and stuff, what they do? He made sure that he had them. You know what I'm saying? Even if they was being disobedient and stuff, like when it come down to the prophet Jonah. Jonah was being rebellious and whatnot and stuff, but yet the Lord still have him. Guess what? Jonah's going to be written in the book of life, even though we know within his story and stuff that he was coming against the Lord. You see, that he's being rebellious against the Lord. He refused to do the work of Yahweh Shem Yashai. You see, right? And he put him in the belly of hell and whatnot and stuff. You see, right? And it says, which is a whale, a fish, right? It says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? You see, because to fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You see, and as it says in as it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, it says that the Lord dwelleth with none, but those that dwell with wisdom. And that wisdom is talking about righteous wisdom, the wisdom and stuff that he says, or that he bestowed upon us, gave us the blueprint. You know what I'm saying, to use and whatnot and stuff, so we can maintain life. You see, and not bring upon ourselves death. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the Lord created two and two together and stuff, right? Going back to that Sirach 33. You know what I'm saying? Now that's actually when it comes down to wisdom too. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge of good and evil and whatnot. You see, right? Right? He wants us to dwell in the knowledge of good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he is about. You know what I'm saying? And having knowledge of evil and stuff, you know how to escape that. You know what I'm saying? And stay within the good and stuff, so you won't get punished. You see, right? It says, or whom did he ever despise that calls upon him? And that's why the names is important. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, as it says in Acts 4 and 12. You know what I'm saying? This Acts 4 and 12. It says neither. It says neither. It says, neither is there salvation in the other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. You see? Right? So I'm going back to Sirach 2 and 11. And it says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. You see, and this is what we want. You know what I'm saying? But remember, the Lord ain't gonna even though the Lord is holding our hand and stuff, you know what I'm saying, as it says in Isaiah the 41st chapter, even though he's holding us by the right hand and stuff, the thing is that he wants us to be able to walk on our own. You see? You know, you know, right? He wants us to be able to walk on our own. Yeah, he'll grant it. Yeah, he knows what we have need of. You know what I'm saying? But we got to put forth in the effort and stuff to show him that we really want it. You know what I'm saying? You see? Right? And then guess what? He's going to bless us with perception. He's going to bless us with protection and stuff, or the angels, as it says in Matthew 18:10, that our angels and stuff always behold the face of our Father. You know what I'm saying? You know, that we continue, but we build up in we can continue doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Gaining more appropriation and stuff, so we can cash in on that spiritual bank account for divine intervention when trouble comes. You see, even if we're not aware of it. You see, you know, or if it feels like it's stuff you in a trance, or or Satan trying to take over and whatnot and stuff, that you can call upon a name, and guess what? And like the scripture says, resist the devil and he shall flee. You know what I'm saying? And also be able to recognize when the devil is trying to find a place, and when the scripture says give not place unto the devil, guess what? We can escape from him. You see? You know? You know? Right? So this Job 1:1, right? It says there was a man in the land of Uz, it said, whose name was Job, and Job's name in the Hebrew is Ayawab, and the Ada Yada Wa and the Ba Ayawab, and it means hated, right? It says, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feareth Yahweh. It says, and excuse evil, mean you stay away from it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like how you you know, like how like if it's shit on the ground and stuff, you ain't picking it up, right? It says, and there was born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses, meaning donkeys. It says, in a very great household, right? So he was rich. It says, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. It says, and his sons went and fasted, feasted in their houses, every one his day. It says, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. Verse 5, and it says, and it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed the Most High in their hearts. It said, meaning blaspheme against them. It says, thus did Job continually, right? Verse 6, because they was rich. You know what I'm saying? Well, Job was rich, you know what I'm saying, but his family benefited off his richness, you see, off his money. You know what I'm saying? That he still had control of it. You know what I'm saying? There was no child support in it. Verse 6, it says, now there were child support was the father being there and stuff, and protecting the and cover with his expenses the mother and the children, you see, right? So this Job 1:6, it says, now there was a day, right, in the elect, Job, the book of Job represents the elect, because he went to great turmoil and stuff and gained twice as much of stuff that he had. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same road that we're going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Same road that we're going through right now and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, pretty much we have what we have and stuff. It's going to be a loss. And then next, you know, the kingdom of heaven comes and stuff when we got manyfold and stuff. As it says in John 14:2, as much as the many games that I like and stuff, when you go to different planets and the planets look all different and stuff and have different things, you know what I'm saying, right? In my father's house are many mansions. It's talking about the planets, you see, which we're going to be able to live on, and Esau Edom is not going to be able to do so, you see, right? And it says, Job 1:6, it says, now there was a day when the sons of Job came to present themselves before the Lord. I mean, Salakia, not Job. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them, right? It says, so all that fallen angel, you know, saying Lucifer fall from heaven and stuff, that's not what it's talking about. Satan, know what I'm saying, if is an angel, you know what I'm saying, which does his righteousness, because the righteousness he does is the occupation and stuff that the Lord bestowed upon him. His job is to cause Israelites to go astray, or to make their life hard and stuff where they go astray. And then you got a physical counterpart that Satan works with, which is Esau, eating the full-blooded spirited Caucasian. You see, right? Right. So it says, verse 7, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? It says, then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, because he seeketh who he may devour. It says, and from walking up and down in it. It says, verse 8, it says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil? It says, then Satan answered the Lord and said, doeth Job fear the Most High for nothing? Is he just following you and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because is he just following instructions? You know what I'm saying? Do we fear you for real and stuff, or is it fake? Right? And it says, has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. You see? So that's how you know what Satan's job is. His occupation is to try to get us to come up against Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right? To give up, right? Right? So it says, verse 12, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, it says, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thy hand. Right? So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So the Lord told him, it's like, you can't touch his health. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can touch everything else, you see, which is going to end up happening, because we're going to be placed in a situation where if you don't have the chip, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to be able to have the dainties that you have now, where you can use with cash and debit and credit card, you know what I'm saying, and in different pays and stuff electronically, you see, right? So this is verse 13. It says, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their elder brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians, real Africans, fell upon them and took them away. And this is how you know that Satan can hop on other people, you know what I'm saying, and convince them, you know what I'm saying, to do evil unto you, you see, right? Which a lot of us are going to go through, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to bringing forth the prophecies of the scriptures. A lot of people look at us as if it's our fault, you see. A lot of people look at us as like, it's you all the reason, you know what I'm saying, ever since you all came out here and started talking about this and talk about that, you know what I'm saying, the days has been getting evil and stuff. But guess what? It was already prophesied by the Heavenly Father of the Bible, you see, the one true God, you see, right, with his son, Heavenly Son, Yahweh Shai, you see. It says, verse 15 again, it says, and the Sabians fell upon them and took away, yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, his employees, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of the Most High is falling from heaven, because Satan has power over the elements too. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? Because the angels are celestials, right? So they have spiritual powers, you see? And it says, and have burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. It says, and I only escaped alone to tell thee. So his money was getting burnt up, right? Verse 17, it says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, right? Chaldeans was also Africans. It says, and have carried them. It says, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. So he lost even more employees. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the layoffs and stuff, they was dying like most employees are doing and stuff when it come down to the medicine that is being promoted by syringe, you know what I'm saying, all throughout the world. It says, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their elder brother's house. It says, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, It says it smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. So loss of his family. You see? And it says, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle. You know what I'm saying? That's a sign of humbleness, mourning. It says, and shaved his head. It says, and fell down upon the ground and worshiped. And said, naked came I out of my mother's room, and naked shall I return thither. It says, it says, the Lord gave, and the Lord have taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. Bashim Yashai. And guess what? A lot of people and stuff, guess what? When the Lord takes away, guess what? They're gonna curse the Lord. You see? They're gonna blaspheme his name. You know what I'm saying? You see? You know? They're gonna be like, you're not my God, you're not this, you're not that and stuff, you see? And you can see a lot of people like that and stuff where they don't believe in the Bible, or they don't believe that there's a God and stuff, because they don't believe that a God would do all evil and stuff. But as it says in Isaiah 34:16, none shall want a mate. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Bible's going to come out true, because this is the story that the Lord had placed. You see? Verse 22, it says, in all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly. You see? And guess what? That's going to be a test. You see? This is why we need to build up in the spirit. This is why we need to build up in perception. This is why we need to build up in the scriptures and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we can maintain and stuff while everybody else and stuff is losing it. You see? Right? So I hope this was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahshua Harakakodash. Double honors to apostles of great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which you hope to be. Shalom, wa Baba Kwam Yasharala.